Last week I told you all about mobile homes, and there's a difference between modular homes and mobile homes, and I'm going to be sharing those with you today. It's Take a Tip Tuesday. Hi, my name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer for Ascension Parish, and this week we're going to be talking about modular homes, which are very similar to mobile homes. And I told you all about them last week, but I wanted to tell you about modular homes. When I was doing my investigations of mobile homes, I went to several different mobile home dealerships, and I was checking out their modular homes as well. And when I was talking to the salespeople, they were explaining to me how different the modular homes are in comparison. So I dove in deep and I started researching how is it different to finance these particular homes, and what is the construction timeline for these homes in comparison to a stick-built traditional home. After I've done a little investigation, you might be a little surprised on my results. I was certainly, and I'm willing to share those with you today. I went to the first dealership, and they, I never have been to a mobile home dealership before or a modular home dealership before, so I had envisioned people coming at you like they do at car dealerships, and it wasn't like that at all. So I was pleasantly surprised. There was no high pressure sales, and they weren't trying to talk me into anything, and I noticed that with all three of the places I visited. So he sells Deer Valley. What I didn't know, which I learned, is that modular homes are not much different than mobile homes in the fact that whenever you look at a mobile home, you can turn that into a modular home. And whenever you look at a modular home, you can make that into a mobile home. And what makes it different is the way that it's attached to the ground. So all the materials, building supplies, and everything else are the same. You can have a lot more upgrades with the modular homes, but pretty much they're the same thing when it comes to the actual materials that they use to build these things. So I learned that, and they have tons of different kinds of floor plans. In one floor, if you like something in one floor plan, you can move it around in another floor plan. You could take the laundry room area and move it to the opposite side of the house, or you can take the master bedroom and move it this way. With a modular home, you can really basically take those little boxes and move them around any way you want to. The thing I also learned is that if you do this, if you do decide to move it around, it does make the time for construction a lot longer than if you picked out a plan that they've already have established. So the first place he shows us a home, shows us all the upgrades, and the model that they have on the lot has every upgrade you would have for a traditional stick-built home. They had glass backsplashes, they had wood beam ceilings. I mean, I was very impressed. The one thing I will tell you that they had, which is so incredibly unattractive, is that the ceilings on these things literally looked like plaster, like dripping off the ceiling. And he was kind enough to explain to me that the reason they do that is to hide the imperfections in the wall from when they travel, you know, with your pieces of your modular home. So they know that it looks wavy and bumpy, and so they decided to put this kind of texture on the ceiling. Hideous as far as I'm concerned. It really looked like a mistake. But one thing they do to make these ceilings more appealing is they do offer crown moldings. They offer wood beams to cover up anything. Amount of selection of things that you could do to your modular home is endless. But knowing this, you're also going to pay a lot more. So if you want crown moldings and wood floorboards and the size of wood floorboards, of course it's going to cost you more. Whenever you purchase a modular home, they do not come with the land. So you're thinking that you're buying a modular home for $150,000, but then you have to buy a piece of land, and then you have to buy all the utilities that go on to that piece of land. So it's one more thing that you have to add to it. After doing some research on several of these, I was kind of trying to pick out, would it really pan out for you to live in a neighborhood or buy a modular home. So we're gonna go over that in just a minute, but I wanted to talk to you about the next mobile home place I went to. Okay, so this was Cavalier Homes, and the guy there was super, super nice. It was over there, again, on Airline Highway. All these dealerships are over there on Airline Highway. And he showed us several different options that you could do. And he explained all of them. He went into his office. He was explaining the different kinds of tiles you could use. He was showing me all the different kinds of siding. He showed us 2 different homes that were in his lot. They had high-end kitchens if you wanted them. You could choose to have a fireplace or not have a fireplace. I mean, the options, again, are endless with these. And again, he also said if you want it in a mobile home, they can make it in the mobile home option, or they can turn it into a modular home. Then the last place I went to, this girl had it going on. She knew everything and explained it even more than the other 2 when it came to the modular homes. She was very, very knowledgeable. This is her name right here. She really explained everything. She even knew about the kinds of insulation that you had, and they were the only ones that had the smooth ceilings. The second one I went to actually had the swirl ceilings like you see in grandma's house, you know, those old, like in the 50s and 40s, they had the swirl type texture on the ceilings. That was at the second place, but this one they actually had the smooth one. She said that she thinks that they're the only ones that have that. I'm not 100% sure, but she definitely knew her product very well. She was explaining to me how they put the houses together and how they work the seam lines. She explained the type of insulation and the type of drywall that they use and how it's energy efficient. She's explaining how you can take a modular home and turn it into a mobile home or vice versa. So now you're probably wondering what the biggest difference between a modular home and a stick-built home is. Okay, the biggest difference between the 2 is with a modular home, once it's settled in place, there is no like metal frame with a tongue and an axle and all that. It is settled in place, it is locked in place, and it will never have a chance to move again. With a mobile home, technically you can physically move that at another point, but with a modular home, once it's there, it's there. A few things I also learned about a modular home is that once they put the house on the property and they start putting it together, it has to be put in on the same day. That was an interesting fact to me. I did not know that. The other thing that you're gonna have to know when you're budgeting for one of these things is that you have to have a piece of land beforehand, or you're gonna have to find a piece of land. And you know, here in Ascension Parish, land is extremely hard to come by. But I strongly recommend you get your piece of land prior. And the other thing that I would recommend after talking to several lenders here in the area is to get yourself a lender outside of the dealership. And the reason I say that is I've talked to a few people about their experience with buying modular homes and with buying mobile homes. And every single one of them that had to deal with the lenders that were at the mobile home facilities had problems, but the people that had their own individual lender, it seems like they got to get their stuff done a lot quicker. With an individual lender, they don't pay them until everything is complete. So I've learned that by talking to other people. This is not a personal experience of mine. One of the things I learned from listening to another YouTuber about her personal experience with modular homes is that she had a problem with the dealership itself and she couldn't find any reviews on it, and she thought it was because they just didn't have enough people making reviews. Later she found out that they erased all the bad reviews. So if any of these dealerships that you're dealing with do not have any kind of reviews, I would strongly recommend finding another one that does have some kind of reviews, whether they're good, bad, or ugly. You know, you're gonna have some people that are always unhappy, and you're gonna have some people that are really happy. And then I would definitely start talking to other people that have owned modular homes. I would ask the dealership if you could talk to some of your past clients about their modular homes and see their experience as well. If they are unwilling to provide anybody, again, I would find another dealership. One of the things I also learned is that when you're dealing with some of these dealerships, they will do free delivery if it's in a certain mile radius. Not all of them provide that service, but it's something to consider when you're putting your budget together for making yourself a modular home. With a modular home, they finance just like a traditional stick-built home, which I had no idea. I thought it was going to be the same kind of financing you would get with a mobile home, and it is not. It is considered a house. Once it is in place, it is considered a house. So why is it that most people consider buying a modular home over a traditional stick-built home? First of all, I think they take a lot less time to construct. If you have a very short time frame, you can have a house put together in just a few months. Whereas a traditional stick-built home, they're gonna take a lot longer. I think the other reason is that you can get a lot more amenities with a modular home that you probably couldn't get with a stick-built home for the same price. But with that being said, I was doing the math and I've kind of figured it out that if you do not have a piece of land already and you go with the modular home route, it ends up being just as much as buying a traditional house, if not a little bit more expensive, depending on how much upgrades you add to your modular home. The more you add, it just seems like there's all these other things that you don't consider when you're getting these modular homes. You're gonna have to put in your budget how much it's gonna cost you for utilities. One of the things that people don't consider is a driveway. You're gonna have to have a driveway. Where is the sewage drop off going to be? You're gonna have to make sure you have the proper MODAD system that's approved by the parish. You're gonna have to make sure that you're gonna be able to get electricity out to your piece of land. And all of those things cost money. So make sure that you have all those things in your budget before you figure out if you really want a modular home over a traditional stick-built home. One thing I was really concerned with, and I wasn't 100% sure, is if a modular home was covered under the new Home Warranty Act here in Louisiana. I was on the fence on this, but the way I read it, I believe that it is covered. So let me read the part where I think that it says that it is covered under the new Home Warranty Act. The definition of a home under the new Home Warranty Act reads as, home means any new structure designed and used for only residential use, together with all attached and unattached structures, structured by the builder whether or not the land is purchased from the builder. Such terms include and contain multiple family dwellings and or residents. So the way I read the new Home Warranty Act, I think that modular homes are definitely covered. And then the way that works for you is that with the new Home Warranty Act, certain structures are covered under certain kinds of timelines. And if you want to read more about the new Home Warranty Act, I will go ahead and leave you a link in the description. And that is only for Louisiana residents. So if you're in another area, it really won't pertain to you. But you may want to look at your state's new Home Warranty Acts. Many states cover lots of new construction with their own Home Warranty Act, so check those out. Modular homes definitely are a great option for many people, and I think that if you own a piece of land, that's going to be a really good option for you. But if you don't have the land ahead of time and you're looking to roll a modular home on a piece of land here in Ascension Parish, I think you may want to go this stick-built route. This is just my personal opinion, but after pricing everything out, it ends up being a lot more than a traditional stick-built home. But if you live in a country setting and you have a piece of land that you want to go ahead and put one on, that might work out for you. If you'd like some more information about buying and selling your home, you can go ahead and click this playlist right here. If you want to know more about mobile homes, you can go ahead and click this video right here. And if you want to know more about anything else about real estate, you can always email me at info@yourrealestatewhisperer.com. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer for Ascension Parish, and I tell you all this because you matter.